Ugh, man, I'm telling you, I'm getting like more and more tired as time goes on in that respect. It's just part of the MO, I guess. But hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Connor. You are listening to Connor Talks Games, and today I think we should just hit the ground running and kind of address this really funny question that I get a lot of. Now, there is a situation where recently I have gotten a lot of questions revolving around my particular interest in AAA. And why is it that I want to work in it? And I know this is a very valid question and concern because sometimes I myself wonder why I want to work in something that not only continuously continues to feed the indie renaissance but has probably some of the most piece of shit companies and CEOs that we currently have in the industry. But I guess we will kind of figure that out together. But before that, let's kind of go over what I've been over real quick. So I just finally got done with about half of that Emperor's Children army that I mentioned, I think about 2 weeks ish ago or 2 episodes ago. And in doing so, I'm now trying to figure out a paint job for them. Other than that, just kind of kicking it easy, doing work when I can, continuing to enjoy and fuck around with everything that kind of comes my way. But, but let's talk a little bit about AAA. Now, I think for me, it could be split into a couple of things, but I guess we'll address like the most obvious one. I really like if I had the chance either way, I'd love to work AAA because just in my opinion, some of the coolest shit gets made there. Like, indie games have a lot of neat stuff, but dude, Dark Souls games like Bloodborne, that shit's cool. Like the Witcher series, that's awesome as shit. I really, really like the Halo franchise, and I mean, don't even get me fucking started on Resident Evil or Monster Hunter, let alone excuse me, Don't Make Cry. Those are all made by companies that are AAA, and I would love to be a part of those projects. Uh, because one looks great on the resume. Two, I imagine the pay is great. And three, you could learn some really, really good information based off of that, which in turn could kind of provide a nice learning experience because I'm always looking to learn new things about being a game producer. I'm always looking to ply my trade and get better. And that's actually another thing. So I learned a lot through my time at Project Cyclone, and I enjoyed all of the bells and whistles that come with being in charge and kind of like a game director in that area, volunteer one at that. But I wanna work on bigger projects. I want to be a part of similar, if not bigger, areas. And in my opinion, you have the best opportunity, like the biggest challenge, the best amount of stuff to work with is when you're at the largest level. And to me, being a producer has always been about how do I get this group of people to interact with each other without wanting to kill each other? And needless to say, it's a lot harder than it sounds. Programmers, they're wonderful people. They are terrified of human interaction and they will refuse to talk to you unless you have your allocated time frame of 5 minutes and you are not allowed to go over that. And if you do, they will stare at you like you killed their family. Artists, peak cinema, they do some amazing work. If you don't give them anything to work on, they will bitch and complain till the crows come home. Designers, if you do not pay attention to them and you let them go rampant, they will work on shallow ass ideas that suck and nothing will ever get done. Audio people do not exist. Voice actors are not paid and therefore are treated as slave labor, vice versa, vice versa. Um, and to me, I like getting those people to work together. It's fun. I like seeing well-oiled machines work. I am not able to point at a game and say what I worked on. I will never be able to point at Gothic Knights and say that I programmed this piece of grass. I will never be able to point at that texture over there and say that I did that texture. But you know what I can point at? I can say that I confidently worked to get that group to create a functioning demo of a game, even if it is rather kind of unfunctioning at the moment, successfully demonstrated it at PAX for 2 showings, and then have it finally as the first game under the Project Cyclone banner. That's what I can say I fucking did. But another way I like to look at it is, producers in general have, in my opinion, the best job in the industry. It's the taking L's one. I guess that makes me a masochist as well, actually, now that I think about it, making me wanna work in that industry. In spite of the fact that I believe last I checked, there were 15,000 people laid off, there were more and more issues with job security, and quite frankly, I think it was, like, games in America right now are not doing too hot either. I still want fucking in, like, dude, I studied for this shit for 4 years of my life. I've been at it for 2 fucking years. I'm getting ready. Lock me in. Send me fucking in there. I have a stick, and I'm gonna use it to beat the fuck out of somebody. And I'm aiming straight at the industry that I want to get into. So pucker up, send me in, fucking rattle them cages. I'll drag my ass in there one step at a time, fucking right at it. Plus, I also like inflicting pain on myself, which probably explains a lot about my own personal tastes. But I digress. That's not really that. I think also just a lot of my favorite game companies work there. I might have mentioned that earlier, but it's it's just nice to be able to work on a largely critically acclaimed project and having people respect your ability to do that. Um, I know that the atmosphere can be rather corporate at times, but I do think that, there is a hidden element of people who do care about their craft. And we have so many talented devs too who work on those projects. Like, dude, if you could put me on Valve, I don't know whose dick I gotta suck to get on Valve, but I would love to work on Deadlock. Like, even if I barely play it nowadays, like, on fucking God, get me in there, gamer! Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyhow, that I'm going off topic here in that respect. Let me kind of cut back on the main track here. Nah, there is a undeniable fun level of uniqueness that I think would be cool to just kind of get in on that. But also, and this is kind of something that I always say. So what I wanna do when on top of getting in the industry is, because 'cause I'm the producer, I can talk to people, I can make things happen, I can direct, it all goes according to plan. But on top of that, if I can get into AAA, that puts me in line with a lot of high profile connections, which means that I can help out the people that I really want to. Because in my opinion, I work with a lot of talented people who just need a chance to be taken on them. And unfortunately, that's just not happening right now, depending on how things are. Even though the industry is continuously booming and they make billions of dollars every year, you got a piece to shareholders type shit. But I mean, if I can just open the door even a little bit for the people who kind of help support me along the way and are just as hard working and trying, then I would say that was a very well successful done. And I mean, you could do that with single A, double A, indie. Like again, I want to point out preference is triple A, but I will take anything. Um, there's a reason why I've subjected myself to the pain that is Jira and everything else. Ugh, God, I'm telling you that shit is painful. But what are you gonna do if not try harder? Am I right? Um, honestly, all things considered, I try a lot, and I do think that at the end of the day, at somewhere in the tunnel, somewhere at the end of all of that, I'll make it, even if it is painful. I mean, people keep telling me as much, but let's be real here. I'm insane, and I'm in this industry for the long haul, not for the short haul. But hey, fuck it. What are you gonna do? But let's kind of talk a little bit more on this topic of conversation. I would say if I had to entertain the possibility of going into AAA, I would definitely like to work my way from the ground up and kind of get into the higher positions, such as being a director. But when is that ever going to happen? Am I right, gamers? Now, uh, one one other area that I would actually like to explore today, and I guess we will make this a double pronged question, and it's something I get quite a lot, is so recently, not really even recently, people attempt to pretty much ask me questions that hit me in areas that I always find to be a little ironic. Now, here's the funny thing, right? I don't play Uma Musume Pretty Derby. I don't. And I took a VTubing class with a wonderful professor who I think, if they listen to this, still one of my favorites. By the way, you gotta teach the classic, and I'm telling you, I know you gave it off to somebody else, but it's not the same without you. You don't understand. So, sometimes I get questions that are like, well, "What's your favorite VTuber? Or what's your favorite Uma?" And to that, I say this: please, for the love of all that is holy, stop flooding my inbox each week with about a quarter of you asking that. Like, I got asked that. Oh yeah, not here. There is just a fucking. This one is just an image of a fucking person with an Uma pointing a gun at me, saying, "What's your favorite Uma?" We're not asking twice. Pull the trigger, good sir. I'm not afraid of death. Death is afraid of me because if I go to hell, I'm telling you right now, you know what's going to happen? Absolutely nothing because I'm going to enjoy my time there because I'm a sick masochist and I think pain is pleasure because I'm a game producer. And in spite of everything that this industry has put me through, I still want to hit it. Actually, speaking of which, you'll hear about the Resident Evil 9 Requiem DLC leak with a director who pretty much confirmed that while Leon is married, it's gonna focus more on his home life. I'm personally batting on Team Ada Wong, but hey, Claire is always a fine option too. Complete the bloodline and all that bullshit. Wonder if actually we will see a large segment on what's its face. Who Leon's did they have a child? Oh, I would kill if they had a child. Dude, do you have any idea how cool it would be to have mini Leon hitting the fucking one-liners and shit? That would be dope as fuck. But we probably ain't gonna be getting that anytime soon. I mean, we're still gotta work our way through the funny crap that is you know, classic fucking shit. So, yeah. Oh jeez. So ironic and funny to me, but yeah, what are you gonna do? As a doe once said, I think, which is actually their new song that came out not too long ago. I am a big fan of a doe, as well. That's just a fact of life that has to happen, you know? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All that good shit, all that fancy stuff. Man, this is kind of just turning into a rant about whatever the hell episode, and we kind of see how it goes. I did actually recently have a funny incident where I was trying to secure my a package that a friend sent me from Australia, which was carking difficult, let me tell you something, because I missed the day it was sent, and then it got sent back to the mail post, so I had to get up. I was annoyed. I was gonna make a sandwich. It was gonna be peak cinema. Peak cinema. More peak cinema than Super Creek, probably, but I digress. And there I was, walking down the street, picked up my package. It started fucking raining, so I had a 3 point. All that for the two deluxe versions of Berserk, which I absolutely adore and have sitting on the across from me right now. But what are we gonna do if not continue to suffer nowadays? Right, where is I going with this? Right, something. I've actually recently also got back into a little bit of a situation known as Deep Rock Galactic. Um, I had a couple of friends of mine recently purchased the game, and I had it in my library, and I wanted to play it for a while, but I played it on the console, but even if I owned it on Steam, there was no crossplay shit. So, oh my god, I just realized something. There is actually probably a short floating around of my favorite Uma. So not only is that entire segment false and not base coded at all, but I'm probably gonna get shot in the back of the head now, aren't I? You'll never take me alive, gamers! You won't! Back to hell, I take you. Back to hell. You ain't taking me. Eat my ass. Eat my entire ass. I actually get told that I sound a lot like Pirate Software, which I don't know if is a compliment or a insult, but we live in a society. So there you go, gamers. There you go. Anyhow, anyone played Slay the Spire 2 recently? Very fun experience. I've actually gotten a bit more farther along in it. I've recently had another successful run as Ironclad, and I'm really liking this energy regen build I got, where I just absolutely go ham on the absolute insanity that is demon form with fight me, because you have extra strength, but then you're getting more strength, and the enemy targets you, and you're going ape shit. And what's really not to love about a little going ape shit now and then? Am I right, gamers? But yeah, no, it's nice. I like it. Um, there is a funny thing to kind of consider about that, but meh, I digress. I have to get back into Star Rail and Zenless though. I have been slacking so badly in that area. It's not even funny. I mean, come on, folks. Like, you're telling me that I have to play a gotcha game even though I consider myself a gotcha gamer? What is this shit? If I get questions asking me to play Pretty Derby, I will do absolutely nothing because I appreciate all the questions that y'all sent in. But, I don't know. I think there was a song by Iron Mouse that said "Cry for Me," so yeah, do that, and maybe I might, or not. I don't know. I have been tormenting my friend actually recently with a lot of cursed Uma posts. You got that or whatever Cuts in Black says when she sees Theo. If you know, you know. If you don't, curse knowledge be upon ye. Don't look it up. If you do, you're asking for pain. How can I say that? Because I have an entire cursed repertoire of it. It's absolutely peak cinema. Well, yeah, no. Oh god. You gotta get ready for events too and shit. So much to. Gotta visit a friend in Long Island. This is just a yap session episode. I'm telling you. Apologies that you came here for games. This is just Connor losing his collective fucking mind. Seriously, where are my producers at? Y'all deserve like hugs and shit. The crap you gotta put up with all your other people, I'm telling you. We're a rare breed. Funny context actually. I remember back junior year at college, I was taking this class called Serious Games. And the situation with that was we were going to be assigned based on our profession to certain groups. And I had a group that I was going to be paired with in my mind, but then they were like, okay, we have a disproportional amount of producers. So everybody who is capable of joining them, we want you on this side. And everybody who is not a producer, go over there. So there were like 3 fucking producers in that class, myself included. Because it turns out people don't like managing task tracking software or talking to other people. Oh, gee whiz, how would I know? So I'm about to go up and be a part of this group, and this person stole it out from under me. What the fuck? I know who you are. I'm not happy you did that. Don't even get me started. Oh well. What are you gonna do? Ay 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 ay, as they say with a dough, huh? Huh? Anybody? Oh, actually, that reminds me. Nuclear Nightmare just got its imposter update not too long ago. I have to plan around playing that with a couple of my friends. The issue is 2 of them live in Australia, and the other one doesn't have a good sleep schedule, which means it's a pain in the ass to get them on. And I'm telling you, it ain't easy when you're a coding person and everyone you know is a friggin' individual that likes to sit, sleep, and do nothing. But yeah, good to see though that the Witcher episode is kind of taking some grounds though. I did enjoy recording that one, and like I said, CD Projekt Red, they're absolutely kicking ass, man, and I think that it is a pretty nice situation, but something that does kind of annoyed me is recently there at least starting up in 2020, the two studios with Xbox and PlayStation 5 started to describe upcoming games in development as quadruple A. And the issue with that is what the fuck is a quadruple A? So the one thing that comes to mind is there was a game called Perfect Dark, which was supposed to be a first-person shooter that was being developed under Crystal Dynamics for Windows and Xbox Series X and S. It was supposedly a reboot of the Perfect Dark series. Now, I don't know anything about Perfect Dark. I think it's a game. That's about it. But oddly enough, the game got canceled, so that's just a wonderful start, you know? You gotta love it when if there was a situation in which a game comes out or is being announced with a new self-annoying buzzword that does absolutely nothing and ends up causing stuff to get shut down. But yeah, what are you gonna do? Honestly, I mean, it is funny to me, like that whole thing with single A, triple A, and indie is just goofy to me because indie is classified as independently independent funded games that do not have any kind of like bigger major support. It's done by smaller development teams without the support of a game publisher, which is in contrast to most AAA games, which either have a publisher or a big, large professional team, and it allows them to maintain their freedom and independence. And because of the fact that they do not have that same level of funding, they like to focus more on innovation, experimental gameplay, and taking risks that are don't usually done by AAA. That's not saying that AAA doesn't take risks or can be innovative. It's just why would I do something new with my Call of Duty game when people will still buying the slop that is the same game every single year? Because why not? I mean, why the fuck else would you do it? But, same thing with like independent films and whatnot. You can usually find some gems in there. Um, yeah, I just want to show on Quadruple A a little bit more. Skull and Bones is not a fucking quad A game. It's dog shit. And there is no agreed upon definition either, might I say, that has any form of definition on it. I mean, what's another game that I can think of actually that falls under that purview? Beyond Good and Evil 2? Wasn't that announced back at like Ubi Days in 2008 and then it was revealed back in like E3 2017, but it hasn't had anything since then? Yeah. Uh, let's see. Duke Nukem Forever, if I remember correctly, took 11 years or something like that to develop. And the issue with this one is that it was in development for more than 15 fucking years. That's a big paycheck to be collecting that entire time, might I add. But I fear for that game, considering if you're in development for that long, kind of like Concord, the markets have changed, people have moved on, stuff has happened. So, what are you really offering at that point to gamers that hasn't already been said, done, or even shot at? Ugh, what are you gonna do, huh? Right. So double A is kind of more mid-market. Think of that as I would say more about 50 to 100 people in a development studio. It's kind of weird because you have freedom to design and innovate, but um, you have the negative of still being constrained with risk and, of course, funding in that area. But it's also nicely more priced. Example, I think Daisy, PUBG, hell, even Claire Obscure might be an example. Although I know Claire Obscure kind of was classified as indie, but it wasn't classified as out that it was outside as well. It's all over the place, honestly. But what are you gonna do? All the fun stuff. Also, shout out to my Claire Obscure episode, which is continuing to make grounds the Claire Obscure Awards, as it is dubbed. Very funny. Also, I'm still laughing at the whole Microsoft situation when they bought Blizzard Activision. Because, I mean, the irony of it is like, dude, you bought a company that was already eating shit, like Overwatch ate shit and died horribly, at least in regards to its continuous lifespan. By the way, if the Jeff Kaplan 5-hour interview in which he talks about it, highly recommend. It's such a great interview, particularly for those who don't know. And I am going on a tangent here again. Towards like the moment where he reveals about it, pretty much he gets sat down with the CFO, and the idea behind it is that you are he was placed in an impossible position. It was either make more money for the studio or walk the plank and never again you know, be able to do that because they were going to lay off people and he was going to get blamed for it, according to him. And I mean, honestly, I don't disagree with Jeff Kaplan. Usually, he's a fine enough guy in some areas, and he provides opportunity for others. But it is unfortunate what happened because he cared about the game, and what was his payment? Dog shit. Blizzard being Blizzard, which I guess I always joke too, personally, going back to the why do I want to go into AAA thing. If somebody is going to go in there and fix it, why not the overly idealistic, optimistic person who does not understand the meaning of quit and also has a bit of a masochism problem because, oh my god, the amount of abuse I put up with this fucking hiring practices. You have any idea how annoying it is? They have to consistently rewrite, butcher your resume, get ghosted, and then realize, wait a minute, my portfolio isn't even halfway decent in comparison to the other people who are in that industry. I like what I do, but unless I get legitimate cold hard experience, and I don't mean like what I currently do, I mean actual legitimate non-fabricated because in my opinion there are two types of experience. There's the fabrication stuff that you do with your spare projects and you're outside of that, and there's your studio stuff, the stuff that you work on at an accredited studio, a big name, somebody, anything that allows you to explore and fully revitalize the experience. But it sucks because, I didn't get any of that. Oh well, honestly, probably should have gotten the Nintendo seal of approval at the time, but here we are. Sad days ahead. I'll probably get freaking absolutely lambasted for that. But thank you for listening to this Connor Talks Games episode. Sorry if it was a little all over the place. I kind of just tend to rant a little bit. But hey, if that's what you enjoy, you like hearing me go off, by all means, appreciate it. And I hope that everyone has a wonderful day. Remember to send questions at the Connor Talks Games official Gmail account. That way we can actually get your questions, read through them, and I can always put an episode together. We haven't been getting too many of these past couple of weeks, but that's probably because of the random environmental session. So I digress. On top of that, of course, if you keep sending me a Moose Make questions, I shoot special week. You heard me. So keep sending questions. Unironically, keep sending them. I enjoy reading them. And with that, this is Connor Talks Games. I'm your host, Connor. Have a good one.